Hey, what is up guys? Justin from Out of the Basement here, and today we are finally able to take a look at the Star Wars The Black Series Cobb Vanth Deluxe figure from The Mandalorian. For us here in the United States, we have been waiting a super long time for this figure. It's one of those far out release dates that actually stuck over here in the US. I know a lot of other people in the UK and other places around the world have had this guy forever, it seems like, but we finally have a chance to take a look at him. Coming in to take a closer look at the packaging, it is that deluxe format that they've been doing when the accessories are spread out to make it, you know, appear like you're getting more. The jetpack is always off on like a Boba Fett figure, but the sidearm could have gone in the holster, the helmet could have went on the figure, it could have squeezed into a more natural, you know, the regular standard packaging. But you'll know that for unique looking characters like Cobb Vanth, I will make an exception on the deluxe thing. You know, a few extra dollars is not going to stop me from getting a character that I actually really ended up liking from The Mandalorian. So here we are. We have the Black Series logo up here, figure and all the accessories in the plastic window. Star Wars The Mandalorian down here. It does say Cobb Vanth there at the bottom. We do have a really nice image for the mural over here. We also have the crate dragon up there and some Tuskens in the background. I like that. It is number 18 in the Mandalorian line. We have the same image of Cobb Vanth over here, Black Series logo up here, the name in that orangish text, and there is a read-up. If you'd like to read it, go ahead and pause it there. Little bit of side window, little bit of window on the top. There's actually some box damage up here, courtesy of Amazon. Let's crack it open. As far as accessories go, we'll take a look at the Boba Fett helmet first. Right off the bat, this is the helmet from the Return of the Jedi Boba Fett. And I guess this actually is an advantage of having the helmet off in the packaging, because if you guys remember, that deluxe Boba Fett had warping issues and you had to give it the hot water treatment. This one, I actually did run it through some hot water just to make sure it's bent to shape. And if you would like, you can do the same with a hairdryer. It's not going to mess up the figure or anything. Just give it some light heat and just lightly, you know, pinch it to where you get that wider, angular Boba Fett helmet. But it was less of an issue outside of the packaging compared to the deluxe one. But it is the same mold. This one just has some really nice, actually, the silver like paint scraping, paint chipping. I actually really like that effect that goes all around the helmet, and there's a bunch near the front. Really clean T-visor with that, you know, that olive-ish green and the darker maroon colors. Rangefinder, a little bit of silver, a little bit of black, and it is articulated, works perfectly. You also get a little bit more silver over there. Pretty nice helmet, if I do say so myself. Then we have Boba Fett's jetpack with that same, you know, paint chipping application all around it. This is going to be the same one as the deluxe Boba Fett that we saw in the Return of the Jedi line that I just showed you a few seconds ago. Of course, it's the same. I mean, it's Boba Fett. The only thing that's different is the missile, which does come out like so, and then it just pegs right back in. So yeah, a little bit more of that paint chipping. It's been said 1,000 times, but the colors are too saturated on these jetpacks. They should be a little darker, a little more muted, but I still think it's, you know, visually pleasing, and I like the pretty clean paint apps between the gray, the white, and the red up there on the missile. Cobb Vanth's sidearm blaster. I believe this is the first time we've seen this particular blaster in the Black Series, so unique mold on this one, but it is just that gunmetal gray plastic. Pretty cool though. Then we do have Cobb Vanth's rifle that he uses in the Mandalorian, and this is pretty cool. I think this is a unique sculpt in the Black Series, but some detail I really like on here is like the wrap, and it's kind of hard to pick up on camera, but there is some texture detail on that. So like there actually is some sculpt work on, like, you know, the physical wrappage, you know, for the grip. That's a pretty good look right there. So there's actually some texture detail. I really like that. Aside from that, the rest of it is the gunmetal gray. But he holds the rifle perfectly. The blaster sidearm fits into the holster perfectly. And let's check out the helmet. Boom. It fits nice and awkwardly on his head, just like it does in the show. You know, if you guys remember watching The Mandalorian, when he steps in through the saloon doors, you're like, who the hell is that guy? Like, that's definitely not Boba Fett. It's just some guy wearing Boba Fett's armor. And, you know, the helmet on there might look a little odd, you know, if it were any other action figure, but on Cobb, it looks exactly how it's supposed to look, because he does have, you know, the coif and like a combed over hair, but it does go on there how it's supposed to go, and it's a little loose, but it's not, you know, it's not coming off. And then the jetpack goes on there, you know, it just pegs in the back how it is supposed to go. So yeah, all of the accessories work how they are supposed to work. And here is Cobb Vanth out of the packaging, looking pretty solid, pretty decent. I have some grievances that we will get into once we look a little bit closer at paint and details, especially for a deluxe figure. But just as a Cobb Vanth, he's pretty much what you're expecting. There's some really good details and articulation in certain places as far as the paint, but overall it's pretty solid. Let's take a closer look at the details. As always with my reviews, we gotta take a look at the photoreal head, and this time around it looks pretty awesome. Timothy Oliphant, he's a handsome gentleman, so I was really hoping they would do his figure justice, and I think they did. You know, it might be a little bit off, but what I think brings it all together is the hair sculpt. Actually, I think it's the most accurate part of this head. Even, you know, going all the way around, there's actually a nice mix of lighter gray and darker gray. The beard is, yeah, it's a little too thick on the figure. It was a little bit more trimmed, or, you know, closer to the skin in the show. But the face, I think, looks pretty decent. Let me know what you guys think. I think they did him justice, and honestly, I'm a little tempted to pose him with the helmet off. Then we have this little red piece for the handkerchief, you know, scarf piece. It doesn't come off. You could probably take it off if you take the head off. It's just a loose piece there. But yeah, it's pretty decent. And then working our way down to the actual Boba Fett armor. Now, the paint apps on the actual Boba Fett armor, amazing. I really, really like the paint scraping and chipping effect they are able to do by mixing in this like silver color. I love it so much. Here it is on the shoulder pad that has the Mythosaur insignia. The undershirt has this amazing like sequin texture on it on the sculpt itself. I really like that detail on those little, like, they're not holes, but they're, you know, they're like little sequins. Working our way down to the gauntlets, we have more of that scraping. We got the gloved hand right there. Really like the gauntlets with that maroon scraping. Now, guys, it looks good, but let me show you the deluxe Boba Fett. We have that gold and the silver on the buttons near the hand. On there, we just don't have that gold. I wish we could have got it. That's what I'm talking about. I think that's going to be my main grievance when it comes to this figure, is that we're missing out on some paint apps, and I feel like Deluxe, they should go all out. So down here, we have some pouches on the sculpt, and they did paint, you know, that piece, but you can see just right above that piece, there's a ring that appears to be metal, and I'm assuming that's supposed to be like gold or silver. Same thing with the button on that pouch, you know, I feel like the button should be gold or something. And especially over here on these canisters, that definitely shouldn't be brown. All three of those canisters should be either a gray or a silver or black or something like that. It shouldn't be the same color as the pants. Working our way to the holster in the back. You know, the holster looks decent. Here's the texture on the back. Again, there's one of those like rings that they sculpted in there. You know, I appreciate the sculpt, but you gotta paint it. You gotta paint it if you're gonna sculpt it into the pants. And I just feel like for Deluxe, they should go all out. I know it's the legs, but still, we do have a little bit of Boba armor down there with the beautiful scraping. And again, with the boots, they appear to just be this, you know, solid brown color. And, you know, same thing with the undersuit. I feel like, you know, he's been in most Pelgo. That's a dirty, you know, Tatooine's a dirty planet. I just feel like he should be a little, you know, sandblasted over the entire figure, really. And again, the armor looks great. The armor looks great. But it's everything else other than the armor. I feel like there's just some missing paint apps, and that shouldn't happen with Deluxe. We do get a nice little bit of red and white on the belt right there. This belt piece is, the holster's a little loose, but It's a little loose, it's glued on though. You do get a little tiny bit of gray variation right in there, if you can see that. But again, on these pouches, I just feel like they shouldn't be the same color, right? Or at least the button on the pouches. Same thing, there's like a pouch back there. And just to compare real quick, yeah, it's Boba Fett, you know? The shoulder pads are going to be the same sculpt. The helmet is the same sculpt. The chest piece, I believe that's the same sculpt. It should be. I mean, it's Boba Fett's armor, so just for those that are curious, it is pretty accurate to the Return of the Jedi Boba Fett, and that makes sense. Yeah, even for, you know, down here, that is the same armor. And oof, oh no, even more missed paint apps here, guys, on the darts right there. See that little bit of gray? It's missing on the Cobb VANTH. Oof, guys. I love the figure. It's a good action figure, and it has great articulation that I will show you, but you guys know what I mean. At least it's just these little tiny things, but still, for Deluxe, they should go the extra mile and just include those accessories. There also is the hoses. I always got to point this out. Be careful with the hoses when you are articulating this arm. Just shove that in there. You don't want to break those hoses. Speaking of articulation, let's just get straight into that, starting with the head. The head is going to have that ball joint, you know, dumbbell neck peg, and a ball joint on the head, so you get this, like, fantastic back and forth, as well as side to side. You get all sorts of crazy tilt and attitude. Love the updated articulation with the dumbbell joint. The handkerchief does not inhibit the articulation at all. It's a free hanging piece. You can move it as you see fit. You can look that far down and that far up. Really good range of motion, and this is because this piece is loose. I love that they made the little handkerchief loose. The arms can rotate all the way around. Be a little bit careful because there is a shoulder pad, but they do rotate all the way around like so. These armor pads, you know, on the shoulder, they are soft. You're going to be careful with these ropes. Be careful with these ropes. But you can, you know, T-pose, no problem. Might be a little bit hard to see, but you do have a butterfly joint in there, which works really well. You guys know us, we absolutely love butterfly joints here at Out of the Basement. Always gets a plus from us. Single joint at the elbow. The left hand gives you a little bit more than 90. The right arm, just about 90. The left arm gets a little bit more cut. In the middle of the arm, you do have that rotation like so. And then you also have gauntlet swivel. So that's two separate points of rotation right here. The hands rotate as well. The left hand is going to be the gripping hand with the horizontal hinge. Right hand also rotates, and then this is the gunslinger hand, so you got that vertical hinge. Beautiful vertical hinge for the gunslinger. There is a cut just below the armor, you know, it is an overlay, and you got that ball joint at the midsection, so you get a nice amount of tilt. Not that much crunch though. He can go back about that far, which is pretty good, but he can't crunch forward all that much, but you do get some nice twisty rotation, you know, and tilt. The legs can kick out, whoa, about that far. That's actually really good. Can kick back about that far, not really that far back before you have to rotate the thigh. Speaking of rotating the thigh, we also have thigh rotation. Lower leg rotation, it's not technically boot cut or boot swivel, it actually is the entire, you know, lower half of the leg rotating right there. Single jointed knee, and again, you can rotate it like so. Feet go that far down, really good amount. They go that far up, and you do have ankle pivot. I know I've been pointing out the paint that they could have filled in, and they should. They should. For the deluxe price point, they should. But as a Cobb VANTH figure, it's kind of just exactly what you wanted. It's a different person wearing Boba Fett's armor. It's just so cool. It was such a cool episode in The Mandalorian Season 2, and we've been wanting Cobb VANTH for such a long time. The sculpt is great, you know, reusing a lot of that Return of the Jedi Boba Fett for the armor, totally appropriate. And then the new legs are good, even though, you know, it could use a lot more paint. I know the deluxe thing is a big controversy in the Black Series community, but again, I just like it. What can I say? I like this figure. Let's go ahead and make some comparisons. Let's start her off with the original owner of Cobb VANTH's armor. Boba Fett and Boba Fett. We have the Deluxe Return of the Jedi over here and the Deluxe Throne Room over here. All three of these figures are badass. I don't care what you say. I know there's a lot of reuse between the Return of the Jedi and the Cobb Vanth, but it's the same armor, so why wouldn't it be? Then we have some Mando love and some Book of Boba Fett love with the Mandalorian and his Beskar armor on the left and Cad Bane on the right. Then to flesh out the Tatooine Crate Dragon scene, we have a Tusken Raider and a Jawa. At the end of the day, does this figure bring me joy, and do I like it? Yes, I like it a lot. However, I do like to look, both sides of the coin here, and yes, Hasbro should be putting in all of those paint apps on a deluxe figure. So Hasbro, I'm going to knock you on those paint apps for sure, and then also you should have included those flame accessories on the Jetpack. So yeah, I did grab those from the Return of the Jedi Jetpack. Yeah, those should have been included for that deluxe price point, especially because it's the same Jetpack, so why not just include those flame effects? On the other side of the coin, remove the Black Series logo for a second and just look at it as a 1/12 scale action figure for $29.99 or whatever it was. And yeah, absolutely, it's a great Cobb Vanth action figure. And as a matter of fact, Mezco, Mafex, SH Figuarts, Bandai Model Kits, I don't think any of them are doing a Cobb Vanth, so it's also by default the best 1/12 Cobb Vanth action figure. Some people will take issue with the deluxe thing and paying, whatever amount it is. I think it was $29.99, right? Before the price hikes, I think these pre-orders went up, so for a few extra dollars, it's just not going to stop me personally getting a character that I really, really wanted, and Cobb Vanth certainly fit the bill. On top of that, it's just a great figure. I hate to sound like a fence walker in all of these reviews, but at the end of the day, I still like it. You can still critique something and get a lot of enjoyment out of it, and that is what's going on with Cobb Vanth today. So I'm going to pass this one off to you. Let me know what you guys are thinking in the comments down below about Cobb Vanth. Did you pick this one up? If you're not in the US, how many months have you had this before us? It seems like it's been a very long time. Whatever you guys are thinking, leave a comment down below. Make sure to leave this video a like and subscribe if you are new. We are always talking about Star Wars The Black Series here on the channel. If you'd like to support us in a more direct way, we do offer a channel membership for 99 cents a month. There's a link in the description. You get a Clone Trooper loyalty badge next to your name, and you also get access to some custom emojis that you can use in our live stream chats and our comment sections and everything. Join that Discord as well, link in the description. We also have some merchandise, so if you want to check out a hoodie, a t-shirt, a mug maybe, link in the description as well for our merchandise. I've been Justin from Out of the Basement, and we will see you guys next time.